And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the monastery, the open bar of the internet, the world's greatest shit show, and the place where we, the good brothers and sisters of this most holy of temples, seek enlightenment through the drunkest, craziest, and most batshit ways possible. I am your one and only gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have a couple newcomers into the temple. They are the double-headed monster that is the creator of Krunken Worlds. I'll get to what the hell Krunken is in a bit. But in the red corner we have Erika Bortolotti, and in the blue corner we have Federico Zaccagnini. And I'm pretty sure I mispronounced both, and I apologize for that. How are you two doing today?
Yeah, but it's okay. It was almost there. Like, I'm Erika Bortolotti, and
I'm Federico Zaccagnini.
Yeah.
Mine is really difficult.
I have developed an understanding over the years about why felt another Italian dev who's been in the temple, Max, insists on people calling him that instead of his actual first name.
it's the G and N when they are together. It's a ñ. This sound in Italian that it's very different from English, so it's okay.
Well, at times I liken it to catching a ball with your opposite hand, and I can hear my colleague Zan laughing in the distance because he's ambidextrous. Yeah, but so one of the big traditions around here is opening with the humble beginnings, in a sense. So I'd like you two to walk me through your first introduction to role-playing games and what made it stick.
Okay, for me, role-playing is like living in another world. I mean, real life is kind of boring and awful sometimes. So role-playing is what gives me a different sort of life. And I love to create characters, words, and a lot of interaction. I do the dungeon master or the game master a lot of time for my friends, and I really like to make bonds between their characters and my NPC. and this is crazy because they create families over families because they love my NPC. So everyone wants to marry my NPC, and they create this family that we play with them for like I don't know, it's 10 years. We play together with my friends, and they are the same characters, but one is the dad, the other is the son, maybe, and it's funny. So I really enjoy role playing.
Hmm.
And I'm a player. I started with D&D 3.5. I loved it. I really loved it. I loved 50 different books. I really like it. I played for 15 years, like, and now I'm with Erika, and we create the setting for her place, her monster.
So, with that in mind, when it comes to Krunken Worlds, was this an idea that had been cooking up for a while in terms of something you'd be running internally, or was the origin of the idea a bit more recent?
We are creating Crankenworth. It was 2016, I think. So it's been a while. We are on Crankenworth, and we kind of merge our universe because I'm more a fantasy person. So I really love fantasy story, fantasy world, and Federico is more on sci-fi and contemporary settings, like I don't know, uh, like movies, like movie settings, and we decided to, hey, let's make our game, our role-playing game, and we are a couple in life and as authors.
I can certainly get that. And in the process of doing it, you ended up introducing the term crunk um, into it, which you describe in the quick start as merging crazy and drunk. Was this something that how did the use of this term kind of come about? Was it in a way to just describe the kind of crazy that you were going for with this game?
Yes, yes, sure. It wasn't the original name. We had a much better name, but unfortunately, 1 year after we decided the original name, the name was taken from another RPG. So it was like, oh my god, what's
From another
happening?
Italian RPG.
Yeah, we were okay. Move on. Let's move on and let's take another name. And we came across with this word "crunk," and on the Urban Dictionary, we were searching for okay, crazy, crazy name, crazy, crazy, and we came across crunk, and we liked the crazy plus drunk, and because we love beer.
Mhm.
No, we are we are really stupid person, okay, in life, and we kind of like it, crank, and also in German, crank means insane. So it was okay. Yeah, crank.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see that. And in the same page on the quick start, you had mentioned a sidebar about a what you call a mozzarella meme experience, ending with the age of spaghetti is over, the time of mozzarella has come. Uh,
Yeah, it was a Lord of the Rings quote, of course, because when you think about Italy, it's always the spaghetti. We have the spaghetti western, that it was the Italian way of making western films, and it's always something spaghetti, spaghetti, spaghetti mafia, spaghetti music, spaghetti is always you in Italy you hear it a lot, and so we were more like no, we are not spaghetti, we are mozzarella. And so that's why we say it's a mozzarella meme experience, because every part of the core book is filled with a lot of memes, and we didn't want it to translate it all, because we always said about ourselves that we are Italian ambassador of culture in the world, and so we want to give to non-Italian player some of the most crazy things that happens in Italy.
Yeah.
Yes, as we see American TV series in English, when they're translating Italian, they lose something. The accent, come si dice, the cadence. And we want to explain and show some of the trash Italian memes that we love.
I can certainly get that. Although, if somebody asks me what the first thing I think of with Italy, I will if I want to be a smartass, I'll say, well, Ferrari getting in their own damn way during a Grand Prix.
Yes.
Because every sport has that one team that is my whipping boy.
Yeah, sport in Italy is seen like the most beautiful things of all, after food, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So we have food and then soccer, calcio, we call it calcio, and Italian people.
Yeah. And continuing on from that, it sounds like if I were to ask you some of the media that were major influences, the Appendix N, as it were, what would be in that? And for context, Appendix N was something that was in early D&D. That was a collection of suggested inspirational media, whether it be film, television, video games these days, that sort of thing. What would be in Krunken Worlds' Appendix N?
I would say you can choose between everything that is humorous and it's a humor for adult audience. I don't know, like for example, Rick and Morty, or come si dice? Sorry for the pronunciation, Futurama, future, I don't know in English the correct pronunciation, or games like Borderlands, or I love Cards Against Humanity humor. That is one of my best game I love to play. Or also music that has some kind of trash in it, like the band Nano War of Steel, which they are quite famous also in America, I've seen.
Yep.
There are a lot of reaction on Nanowar, and Nanowar are an Italian band, and they take this, they do this kind of humor that is very intelligent, but also very, very stupid, and we love it.
Yeah. Oh.
Another, I can say, it's South Park. We're doing a rewatch of South Park, and we're introducing a lot of things from the series.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. Now, with that in mind, given the approach that you're taking with this this kind of cranked out science fiction, with the core mechanic, as I understand it, it is focused around D10 and D6, if I have that right.
Yes.
Yes.
So is it a case where it's success based, or is it a case where it's sum based?
The system itself is very simple. You could say it's not something revolutionary. Oh my god, it's a new game. It's very simple because we like the game to be more role playing than only rolling dice. So the mechanic of the D6 is for doing your skill check. So your character has a list of skill, and you can roll up to 3d6, and you just have to look at the result, and it's very simple. If you have a 6 or a 5, you have succeed in the check, so it's a success, and it just happened what you have described to the GM. And if there's a 1 in the result, it's a fail, but the 6 wins on the 1. So and the so you can succeed and fail, but you could also partially succeed. That it means that when you have a result and there are no 1, 5 or 6, this is a partially succeed, and it means that you have succeeded the check, but with some consequences. And it may be you take damage, you fall from a cliff, and it depends on your game master's will. So it's 3-way.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. And one of the other things I was curious about is it looks like you guys are doing a class system. And was classes something that you guys always had planned on, or was there an earlier incarnation that was a bit more freeform?
No, I play a lot of World of Warcraft, too much World of Warcraft, and I love the class system. We try to take archetypes instead of classes as fantasy intended, and use that for our classes. You can have an adventurer, you can have a devotee. There are archetypes. But we would always thought of classes.
Right. So with that in mind, I'd like to go down the class list that you have and kind of get a feel for what its playstyle would be like. And optionally tell me which characters in various media might fit these particular classes.
Okay, nice.
So starting off would be adventurer.
Okay, the adventurer is Indiana Jones, the most the almighty of the adventurer, and also a bit of Lara Croft or Nathan Drake. It's like all of kind of characters that loves to adventure, and they don't mind to get dirt in the mud, some jungles across the space. So it's the adventurers. If you love adventure, go for the adventurer.
Yeah. So the next on the list is the devotee.
The devotee is the religious one. Is the religion with light and fire as theme. You can be a priest, you can be a paladin, you can be a shadow, sort of holy assassin. You can heal, you can tank, you can do DPS. But the main thing is the faith. You must have faith in your god, and resource is faith points.
All right. Oh. So obviously next on the list is entertainer.
Okay, the entertainer is the one who loves having fun, of course, and the entertainment uses magic as a resource, but the magic he uses is music. It's music, of course. It's music and art performance. So with the entertainer, you can go for a bard, totally fantasy. Wow, bard. Or you can play a DJ and a performer. So imagine yourself like some sort of dancer going through the galaxy and enchanting people with his voice. And for example, the performer, you can play the job. Okay, your job could be your profession. It could be a drag queen. So you could be a drag queen in Krunken. Why not?
Mm-hmm. I can get that. So next would be the heretic.
Oh, the heretic is the other with the god. That's it. The heretic is the other with the god. They love evil gods. They are necromancers. They are satanists. They are plague bearers. They love the dirty and the evil in the humanity.
It's my favorite class, by the way.
Yes, me too. The satanist is my favorite spell.
Mm-hmm. So going on to the opposite route, there is the hero.
The hero is the main character. So it's not about what your team thinks you are, but it's what you think you are, and it means that you, when you think about yourself, is I am the main character. Everything is all about me. So the hero is a class for a person with a big ego, of course, and you can play the barbarian. The fantasy spec we have, but also the scoundrel. The scoundrel is a big guy came out of a movie like, I don't know, Predator or Terminator, okay, this kind of film. And the Vanguard that are 10 class, and they are like a super soldier of the galaxy. And they come and help, but they make also a lot of destruction in the process. But hey, they are helping you.
Yeah, I can get that. Oh. Next on the list would be the mage.
The mage uses magic. Is his main feature. Magic in Krankenwurz is really strange. Drugs are magic too, are magic herbs. So we have a pyromancer, a telepath, and a junkie. Junkies use drugs to get magic and do magic. You can be Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, you can be Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad. Play like this.
Alright. And obviously next would be the outlaw.
So the outlaw is the rogue of the game. Every class has 3 specs, and for the outlaw we have a sci-fi one that is the cyber hacker. So you can do a lot of things with the digital, and you can hack your teammate bank account if they have one. And there's the rogue and the slayer. And the outlaw is all about having fun, but against the law. And yes, it's that simple rogue.
Yeah, I can get that. And obviously next up on the list would be the sage.
Okay, the sage is one with a wisdom to guide the team. So we have different kinds of sages. We have the fantasy spec is the druid. We have the sci-fi spec is the scientist and the inventor.
Hmm.
And you can mix it up. You can do only one spec, but your sage, your wisdom is what's better.
Yeah, I can get that. And lastly is the villain.
Another of my favorite class. My favorite classes are the heretic and the villain because I'm a bit of villain myself. And the villain, it's of course the villain of the story. If the hero is the main character, the villain is the villain. So you can play different types of villain. You can have the capitalist. Yes, capitalism is the main villain of Krankenworth, but you can also have the dictator and the warlock.
Hmm.
Warlock, of course, is the very fantasy spec, and the dictator and the capitalist, they have sci-fi feats, but also modern feats. Like you can call an attorney on your
Hmm.
opponent if you like, and this is the villain.
Hmm. Yeah, I can certainly get that. And if I'm reading this correctly, each class has a particular resource that they expend when it comes to using some of their abilities. And would it be correct that each of them has a different way of getting that resource back?
Yes, they all have a different resource and different way to generate and to use it. For example, the devotee has faith, so he can pray to generate more faith. And the hero has the flex resource, so every time you hit a target, you can get your flex resource back. And my favorite resource is the bet of the outlaw. Because every time you spend your bet, you roll a dice, and if you get a 6, you take the bet back. So it's nice because Outlaw is everything about betting and
Hmm.
gambling, and we have incorporated this feature in the gameplay.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. Now, some games will have what I've colloquially called an extra effort mechanic. This is where you get things like willpower in World of Darkness, Moxie in Eclipse Phase, Edge and Shadowrun. You know, some sort of limited resource that you can use to give yourself a bit of a boost, or sometimes give a player a bit of an edit button. Does Krunken Worlds have a mechanic similar to this, or is that not the case?
It's not the case. We don't have a specific mechanic for our game like this. But we wanted the system to it needs to be simple
Mhm.
because we play almost the time that we are drunk with our friends, so we need a system that use very little maths, little,
Mhm.
and we wanted something to very simple and short, and but you can play Krunken Words with extra modes. We call them extra modes, and they are all inspired by the video games. So maybe you like to try our PvP arena style that it comes from games like World of Warcraft, for example, when you can play player versus player. That is something that normally is not considered in role playing because hey, role playing is all about having fun together and rescuing the world together. But in Krunken Wars, you can choose to okay, let's mess things up. So. and you can have for example, PvP arena, and the arena has its own rules to make funny for everyone who's playing it. For example, you have the MVP title that the game master can give to the favorite play of the turn of combat, and when you are the MVP, you get some buff, and you can decide to spend it when you most prefer, when you where you like. So we don't have one specific mechanic, but more, because it's just, if you want to play Krunken World in the easy way, you can do it. If you want to play it in some different ways, you like the tower defense style, the roguelike dungeon, for example, you can play Krunken World like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of modular. You can play it the easy way, you can play it with some rules, some extra rules attached.
Yeah. Now, with that in mind, given the fact that Krunken Worlds is doing this large interstellar setting with a lot of planets and territories, one of the big questions that's going to get asked is how FTL travel works, how interstellar travel works within the system. So that's something I wanted to dive into, since it's a classic question when you're dealing with anything adjacent to space opera.
Okay, there are different, as we say, there are many different ways of playing Krunken Wars, because the setting is sci-fi, it's our galaxy, the Milky Way, but also you could play only on a planet. For example, the fantasy planets, they don't really have spaceships and all this technological stuff. So they just play on their planet. But if you want to have a look like the Theos fleet, they are the um, main characters of our settings, and the Theos fleet flies a lot in the space. They travel a lot, so they have a space travel mechanic, and there are different ways you can space travel, and there are we call it the solar powered spaceships, and they are small vehicles, and you can use it to travel between the planets on a singular solar system, because they use the energy from the solar system. And you can use the sublight and giant spaceships, and they allow you to travel between different systems, because our galaxy is divided in 32 sectors, and they are really wide. So if you want to travel between sectors, you have to use the sublight spaceships, and also there are the wormholes, and they can, of course, you can make a fast travel with the wormholes. And the mechanic is that we have a table of content. They are random encounters you could make in space. So for example, the adventurer has a spec that is the pilot, and the pilot is someone that is very skilled in space travel. So the pilot has to make a skills check when he travels, and based on your skill check, you can have some encounters. For example, you could have a easy journey, beautiful journey in the space, or you can meet the police. There's the space police that they are always in search of money, so they are terrible. It's elf space police in Krankenworth. So there are many encounters, and everything is based on the skill check, and the table uses the D10. So you have 10 possibilities, but also you can have more if you like. It all, as we said, everything depends as you want to play Krunken words, because if, for example, if you don't think to go outside of your solar system, you may not encounter, I don't know, black holes. I I think you won't encounter in your solar system. But if you want to play a space opera, a wide space opera, you can use, of course, our table of contents and a random every encounter you make, or create new encounters. Why not?
Hmm.
And as the galaxy gets bigger, we are developing new ways to fast travel for other species like the spores. They use they use the spore web. Is a kind of like a pocket dimension which they can use to fast travel through the galaxy. They're only theirs. We can't go in there.
Yeah, every species has developed their own travel system. So, as you said, the spore web is really interesting, because they are a species that is kind of spiders. So they use this web deep inside the uh, dark energy of the galaxy, and it's the way of the travel.
And with that in mind, since you brought that kind of thing up, will you in the full book be providing rules for when it comes to creating ships as well as ship combat? Not necessarily like ship combat in space, but even more terrestrial ship combat.
Uh, we have a stretch goal for a lot of new rules we could make about the space travel, but also, I don't know, if you want to fight on your horse, why not? But we see that stretch goals are a bit far now, so we are already planning to have um, a big part dedicated to the spaceship and the travel, because it's something that people always tell us that they love about sci-fi. And also with every class has a profession you can play, and some of this profession can allows you to build things, and the scientists can also build parts of space ships.
Hmm.
So it's nice to have. We will have it. Don't worry.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. And I'm guessing in addition to that, you're probably going to have a bestiary, but are you also planning on giving advice if somebody wants to tweak the bestiary to fit their particular campaign?
Okay, yeah, Krankenworth is a really big universe, and there is space for everyone here. So we have detailed, the mythological history of Krankenworth. So if you read the settings, you could find, oh, okay, I can have my fantasy world, I can have my cyberpunk world in this. Just remember, if your world, your campaign has something to do with the first children. The first children are the main faction. We have uh, the script in the core book. So if you have bounce with the first children, just put them in your story. But you can take, for example, Sector 20. There are a lot of planets in Sector 20. So maybe if you have your own campaign and you would love to create new species, new spaceships, new worlds, you can choose a sector near sector 20. So you have the story, or you can choose also because our main story is set in the sector 20 and in the southern sectors. So if you go north, you won't find almost anything that has already been written, because we love the idea of people creating their own words in Krunken words.
Yeah, I can certainly get that. Now, with that in mind, given the setup that you guys have here, what would you be shooting for as far as a base page count for the full book?
Our page count for the core books is 300 pages.
Mm-hmm.
We want to give you more things. We have a lot of stretch goals that we didn't make the cut to the basic core book. But yes, there are something like 300 pages with the master chapter and the monster chapter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get that. And as far as a release window, not a hard date, but a general ballpark, what would you be shooting for?
The core book is all written in Italian. It's Krunken Words is almost finished in the written part. So we think the core book with all the illustration, because the illustration are the big part of the core book and the most expensive one. And we will finish the core book for November of the next year, 25. So we are ready. It's everything is written. And we are translating now in English. So of course we write first in our native language, and then we translate with our professionist. And but we are now working on the translate version. So it's like we are almost there. But if anyone has feedback to give us based on the quick start, or wants to read more about the Krunken words, we can provide materials. And if there are nice feedback that we say, oh my god, we could do this, we can change, we can always change, because the core book will be finished on November 2025. Yes.
Yeah. I will certainly look forward to that. And with that said, I do want to thank both of you for taking the time out of your schedule to come all the way to my temple and enjoy the madness that happens around here. And anytime you see fit to return, the door is always open. As I often say around here, drinking is not mandatory, but it is encouraged.
I like it.
Krunken words. Not mandatory, but encouraged.
And, of course, a sincere thanks goes out to everyone who took the time out of their schedule to come onto the show and enjoy the madness. And there'll be plenty more where that came from, as there always is here, on the open bar of the internet. But until then, on behalf of the good brothers present and not present, my name is Mildra, I am your gaming monk. Stay fucking frosty, everybody!
上楽